welcome to Saron Things, a pop culture podcast where we laugh our way through this week's trending topics. I am your host, Saron Alcaba, and we have a lot to get into, namely the fact that we're here. Welcome. This is kind of a long time coming. You'd be surprised how hard it is to actually figure out how to put together a podcast that is not incredibly low quality and stupid. So I am hoping that this inaugural episode is not either of those things. So if it is, lie to me. Lie to me, because you know what? Practice makes perfect. And even if this one is shit, it will get better. It will get better. So we have a lot to discuss, like I said. And we are going to start with Blake and Justin. Oh my God, the protective order that she requested over Discovery. So I've mentioned Not Actually Golden. She is a lawyer on TikTok that I think is fabulous. I learned a lot from her. I would say sometimes I agree with her, sometimes I don't, but like she's the lawyer and I'm not. So like who am I to not agree or just, and she's literally been practicing this type of law for evsies. So like sometimes I disagree. Like, who the fuck am I? Anywho's all. So I was watching one of her videos and she explained that what Blake Lively is requesting is that Discovery is not made available to the defendants. So Justin and Jamie Heath and the slate of people that she is suing wouldn't be able to see whatever they get, the evidence that they collect in Discovery. It would just be the lawyer. It really does align with this kind of behavior that they've been showing, this entitlement. Blake Lively thought that she could clearly dictate who would or would not be deposing her. That blew my mind. I am not a lawyer, and even I knew that was crazy. Like, you don't get to say what the other people's lawyers do. I find myself asking this question a lot. Like, who do you think you are? Who? Who do you think you are? Anywho's all thing. It would apply. It would go both ways. Like if Justin and Jamie and whomever can't see whatever is uncovered from their side in Discovery, the same would apply to Blake and co. They wouldn't be able to see whatever is discovered from the Baldoni side. Apparently, it is as crazy as it sounds. Okay. So we shall see what happens there. But at the same time, if you are her PR person, and I don't know if she even I don't know if she even has PR at this point, because her PR person, Leslie Sloan, just requested to be requested for her to be dismissed from the lawsuit. And she has a different lawyer from Blake and Ryan, and I would imagine she's looking out for number one, as she should be. Can't imagine that she could be scheming, plotting on behalf of Blake Lively as she's currently kind of fighting for her life. So I would imagine, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have PR, but it didn't seem like they listened to them prior to that. So whatever. Anyways, it seems like a client management issue. Like, Blake and Ryan are the smartest. They know the best in every way. There's no job that they can't do. So we'll see how that works out for them in a court of law. Let's see. They might end up representing themselves. So, speaking of representing themselves, Tom motherfucking Sandoval. Oh my God. So, the last thing I saw, hold on, let me look this up. Oh my God. Okay. Tom Sandoval begged a judge to allow him to avoid consequences for missing an important deadline in his battle with Rachel Leviss, formerly known as Raquel Leviss, claiming he was busy with the holidays and looking for a new lawyer after parting ways with his old team. In Touch can exclusively report. Tom 42. For fuck's sake, dude. Filed a declaration explaining the situation to the Los Angeles Superior Court. Judge presiding over Raquel. So we're back to Raquel's invasion of privacy lawsuit against Tom and his ex-girlfriend Ariana Madix. That I still cannot fucking believe. Fuck one of your best friend's boyfriends and then sue her. This is how you know whatever treatment she said she went to after like the what is it? The passages, the whatever's, the I went to what the fuck is it called? The gardens. The summers. What? Raquel. The Meadows. The Meadows. It was called the Meadows. Obviously, not enough healing was done at the Meadows. If upon leaving, her first thought was, let me further fuck over the woman whose life I just don't like, have you no scruples? Nary a scruple. Tom said, while I was aware that there was a 30-day deadline to respond to discovery, I was not aware of the potential objections or that missing the deadline to respond would result in a waiver of those obligations. As I am not an attorney and have no legal training. On December 13th, I was newly representing myself. Jesus Christ. Actively searching for another attorney. Honestly, he's 42. He should be able to make better decisions. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Therefore, I reached out to Rachel's counsel, Mark Garagos, and asked for 30 more days to put together responses. Mr. Garagos did not respond to my email. Obviously, the opposing counsel did not do you a favor, right? Right. So what you probably would have had to do in that situation is talk to a judge, the judge presiding over your case, who could probably make that decision, not the person who wants you to fail, who's being paid to make sure that you fail. Oh my God. Ariana found the phones, Tom, blah, blah, blah. In addition, Ariana denied that she shared blah, blah, blah. Tom claimed Rachel's lawyers wanted to know if he would say that the network had put him up to revealing his relationship with Rachel to Ariana. What do you mean? We know that's not how it went. You didn't reveal anything. Your phone fell out of your pocket. Your girlfriend knew your girlfriend knew the pin to get into your phone. She went into your text. She saw the shit. And, your life proceeded to fall apart. You had no agency in that matter. That was the only part that you didn't choose, homie. Am I reading this correctly? What is this fucking quote? Okay, my lawyer said to me, they gave you an offer. I know you're not going to take it, but I have to bring it to you. If you point the finger at NBC Universal, they'll drop the case against you. Rachel's lawyers, Mark Garagos and Brian Friedman, denied the claims at the time. They told Page Six, Tom claims he lost his phone. Tom claims he lost his lawyer. Tom did, in fact, lose his motion to dismiss. It now appears he lost his mind. This is Brian Friedman. This is Brian Friedman. Tom claimed he lost his lawyer. Tom did, in fact, lose his motion to dismiss. It now appears he's lost his mind. Brian Friedman is a poet. I don't know what to tell you. He definitely found his calling. What does it feel like to know that you're doing exactly what you should be doing in your life, Brian Friedman? That you found your path. I don't care that Brian Friedman is representing Rachel in her case against Ariana. He's a lawyer. It's what lawyers are supposed to do. Seems like the smartest thing that fucking Rachel's ever done in her life is to hire an actual competent lawyer. In addition, Sandoval represented himself in this case for 32 days, a short stretch during which he was dealing with transition from his former attorneys, actively searching for a new attorney, and preparing for the holiday season. That is the holidays. Who the fuck cares if you were preparing for the holiday season, Sandoval? Who cares? If he lied about Rachel and her lawyers coming to him, asking him to blame things on NBCU, if he made these public claims, could that not be like fucking defamation? And could she not sue him for damages from any kind of like potential racial relationship she could have had with NBCU in the future? Like, you're telling the world that I told you to, frame this big ass company for something that they didn't do. It's just, what a dumbass. Next topic. The Meghan Markle as ever launch. Why are people so unhinged about this woman? There's one critique that I could give that is valid. Whatever happened with her first brand, the something vineyard, whatever, Montecito, Riviera Orchard or something, there was some kind of like dispute with its name or trademark or whatever with that one. For her next brand, for the follow-up to that, for the solution for that problem to be as ever, and for there to be a trademark issue with that name, also, it just seems unnecessarily messy. It's not fucking rocket science, you know? So whatever that is, messy, fix it, okay. Or whoever's making those kinds of decisions for you, get them out of here. If it's you, Maggie, stop making them and hire someone. The drama of the week, because the whole like name issue was really last weekend's fodder. This week, it is Meghan Markle being creepy and copying Princess Diana by wearing a purple Northwestern crew neck sweatshirt, okay? Because, there is a picture of Princess Diana wearing a purple crew neck Northwestern sweatshirt. It just so fucking happens, Meghan Markle went to Northwestern. She went to Northwestern. And I'm going to say something, and I'm going to be very clear. If you are one of those people with a seething, burning, raging hatred for Meghan Markle, because I don't know anybody who just casually dislikes her. I don't really feel her. She's not really my vibe. I find her to be a little saccharine or whatever, but, no. If you dislike Meghan Markle, you are obsessed. You are preoccupied. You are disturbed. I find her name coming up in this whole Blake Lively conversation. Join the club. It's Blake Lively, Amber Heard, and Meghan Markle. One of these things is not like the other. Her big scandal was not being welcomed by the royal family and being picked apart by the British press. The scandal was that she was not happy as a royal, that the British press was tearing her apart, that she was not receiving support from the monarchy, from the firm. Harry, backing his wife, seeing that she was not getting the support that she needed, the protection that she needed, knowing who his mother was and what happened to her, and him extracting his family from that situation. That's the only thing that she did wrong. And that's not doing something wrong. Harry picking his wife, her well-being, her sanity over the monarchy, over the crown, over the Commonwealth shouldn't be it shouldn't be crazy. And also, if it is, be mad at him. Why are you mad at her? She's done nothing. Anywho, back to the original point that I was making. If you hate Meghan Markle, you're a racist. You're a racist, and everybody's thinking it. Let me be very clear. If your first instinct seeing her in that Northwestern sweatshirt was, oh my God, I cannot believe she's copying Princess Diana again. What a try hard. You're a racist and something is wrong with you. And look inward. And the thing is, everybody is thinking it. Everybody is thinking it. Other than those other fucking weirdos who are nodding along with you and agreeing with you. But whatever, birds of a freakish feather flock to fucking gether. So there's that. There really is that. Okay. Anywho, next is that Sony stuck in the middle of the Baldoni v. Lively article from The Hollywood Reporter. I'm not surprised about any of this. This is the least surprising thing in the fucking world. Sony was stuck between a lead actress and a studio, right? They were stuck. But they unstuck themselves when they picked a side, and they picked Blake Lively's side. You can try to backtrack now that public sentiment is clearly not in her favor, and talk about how, how they were put in a really tough position. Sony picked a side. It was very clear that Sony picked a side when the CEO, Tony Vinciquerra, issued that statement to the Hollywood Reporter saying that, like, they praised Blake Lively for what she was doing for the domestic violence, move, whatever. I don't know. It was weird. It was unnecessary, and it was very clearly prompted by Blake Lively. So yeah, they picked a side, but also in August, when Vanity Fair reached out to Sony asking about any kind of like HR complaints that were lodged against Justin Baldoni during the filming of It Ends With Us, they said there were no such complaints. So I don't. My opinion, my informed opinion, is that she put the studio that was producing the film and the studio that was distributing the film in a very difficult position. Sony had competing priorities, or like dual priorities at the very least. They wanted to make sure that this film was finished and made money, and also wanted to probably keep someone who was very important to them, their like studio darling, Mr. Deadpool, happy as well. Like, there are multiple variables to consider for them that I can see why it wasn't like an easy choice. But they did choose their choice. They chose their choice. They made the decision, and the decision was Blake Lively. So it's hard to kind of backtrack on that. Blake Lively's business partner, Kate Vorhoff, the person who ran her production company, B for Effort Studios or whatever. She's married to Sony exec. Maybe that like plays somewhere in it. Maybe it doesn't. Like, I don't know. The fact that Justin Baldoni's version, his cut of the film, tested 20 points higher than Blake Lively's, and what she was able to pitch enough of a fit that they still ended up going with her version, even though that is not the industry standard. Like, that's not common practice. That's insane to me. That is absolutely, and I just like the justification for that. I'm looking forward to hearing it, because, or if we ever will, we probably won't. But I'm just gonna always fucking wonder, like, why? For what? To what motherfucking end? And I know the film did really well. $350 million in the box office, right? Having spent, what was it, 25, maybe 50 million on it, still having gone over budget, largely because of delays caused by Blake Lively. All of the drama, all of the hullabaloo around the way that this film was being promoted in like how the press tour was going, and the way domestic violence was playing into it or not playing into it, really perked people's ears, and people wanted to see what this was all about. And I think it actually really did help the film. People wanted to be a part of the conversation. They couldn't be a part of the conversation unless they consumed some of the media. And at the time, it was the film. And also the fact that it's Colleen Hoover. She's an incredibly popular author. There are a lot of people who are going to see that film regardless. So one last thing. I want to close on Southern Charm. I think that the whole Shep and Sienna thing has been talked to death. Like, it's incredibly embarrassing. I start to sweat every time I even think about it. Watching that episode of him interacting with her, how hard he was going, and the way he kept saying things as if it was her. Like, I know that you want to be with me. I know that you dream of our beautiful little golden kids running down the Bahamian, beaches. I know you feel this too. Like, no, you don't, sir. You don't know anything. And the more you tell her that you know what she's feeling, and the more off it is, the more she's gonna fucking want to run away from you. Like, what do you mean? I know you feel this too. That's creepy as hell. Sorry. Every time I think about that text, I like drift off into another universe, and just who if you're Taylor in the situation, you're either terribly hurt because of like the about face he did about basically everything in his life, and deciding that he was a-okay with deciding that he suddenly was just like, yeah, I want this life and family and everything, after knowing her for 5 minutes, versus how he was approaching the same conversations, or actively avoiding those conversations with her. So there's hurt feelings, and kind of like, or is she feeling like the satisfaction of seeing his heartbeat torn out and stomped on. I would imagine it's a mixture of both. A little sadness, a little joy. I guess maybe together it's like nothing. And that's exactly where you want to be with an ex. Nothing. I wanted to talk about Whitney. I just saw this TikTok of a girl at a bar with Whitney. It was very clearly him. Allegedly, he was intoxicated, okay? And she had said that he was hitting on her, and he said to her, "Would you like to go back to the biggest house in Charleston? Would you like to go back to the biggest property in Charleston?" And he actually pulls out his phone and like Googles his estate to prove that it actually is the biggest in Charleston, in order to like lure this young girl like in her like 20s, early 20s, maybe mid 20s max, back to his home that he shares with his mother, because Patricia is upstairs sipping on a dirty martini. He went out of his way to tell Shep that, "Oh, your girl Sienna, she hit on me first. She wanted me first." When that was just a fucking outright lie. Sienna showed her Raya. Bold move. You're clearly done with that app because they don't play. Yeah, I see that you didn't do a screenshot, because you would have definitely like been, you would have been out of there. Like if they saw the TikTok, you're out. Actually, tell me, please, I would love to know. I'm glad that you did show us the proof that it was Whitney that reached out to you first. I believe you. Obviously, I fucking believe you. We saw the messages in question, and just in general, even if you didn't have the messages, I would believe you, because Whitney just has like a cruel streak. He's just a bitter old man, and I don't know if you have to be running around luring girls in. That can't be satisfying. That can't be how you live your life. Like, that can't be a happy life to lead. And I'm not saying like, oh, doesn't he want to find someone to settle down with and love him, unconditionally grow old with blah, blah, blah. Not even that. Like, you could, want to be single, a bachelor forever, right? And that would be a-okay. But even then, leading with your money is just so tacky. Leading with square footage is tacky as hell. And it indicates a lack of a lot, if you know what I mean. Shep and Whitney both are just waiting for, they think that like Amal Almudine is going to just show up on their doorstep. A fucking human rights international lawyer, just searching for Whitney and Shep. The literal audacity. One final thing. I have noticed something with like a certain like cohort of Bravo watchers in the situation with Paige and Craig, and in the situation with Shep and Sienna. It's like they can't wrap their minds around a woman just not wanting to be with a man for no reason. Like just saying, not for me. If they didn't do anything like horrific, like they didn't cheat on you, they weren't emotionally abusive, they were physically abusive, but like they weren't a horrible person, were some crazy alcoholic, and they wanted to lock you down. Like they actually wanted this, they wanted it so bad, and you're gonna regret this one. Yeah. Like they can't wrap their minds around a woman with agency. The second that Craig and Paige broke up, it's like the same thing with friends. Like, I love your boyfriend. He's great. He's wonderful, whatever. But like, once you break up, he's dead to me. Like, what do I have to do? What the fuck is the point of, what am I going to hang out with him? Your friendships with your friends' boyfriends are incredibly circumstantial. And the circumstance is you dating my friend. And once that's over, I don't know. Yeah. Toodaloo. Speaking of toodaloo, toodaloo to you. I'll be back next week with another episode. And until then, you can find me on my socials at Saron Things everywhere. Toodaloo.